This podcast is brought to you in part by P&P Games, your online source for everything video games. Visit their website at pnpgames.com or at one of their 3 retail locations in Winnipeg, Manitoba. Alrighty, everybody, and welcome to the DeREZD podcast. This is episode number 2. As always, I'm your host, Lloyd Hannison, and joining me, as always, Will. Will, how the heck are you?
Lloyd, I'm doing awesome, buddy. How are you doing tonight?
Oh, you know what? I'm doing really, really good. It's Friday. We're podcasting. We got a full chat room. I can't wait to get this one going.
It's going to be good, but I do have to correct you. So according to the show notes, we're actually in show 002.
That's right.
So let me ask you this. It's either one of two things. Are you just waiting until we get to that 7th episode? Or are you just extremely ambitious and you are expecting us to make it to 100 plus?
I am the latter. I'm expecting us to make it to 100.
Awesome.
You know, I've done PSP, DS, Wii. I've done about 9 shows. I'm counting on my fingers for people that are listening to the audio. That was probably just really stupid because I'm on video, so people in the chat room could see it, but you audio people, I apologize. I've done about 9 shows, and I think only 2 of them ever hit 100 episodes, but still I number everything just in case, so that if I'm renaming all my MP3s, they line up nicely because I'm stupid and I'm an old school DOS guy that used to rename all this stuff to look pretty in the Explorer or in the whatever it was in DOS, if I was just doing like a directory or whatever. Yeah, so that's why it's 002. When we get to 007, we'll make lots of James Bond jokes, I'm sure, because it's happened every time, and then we'll move on.
Awesome. Well, that was the correct answer. I mean, 007 would have been correct too, but I like that ambition.
Yeah, it shows that I trust in this show, Will.
There you go. I
think it's going to be good. Speaking of the show, in this episode, we're going to bring you lots of great news. The first is a new Sonic game. We're going to talk about VG podcasts in an upcoming game. And also maybe talk a little bit about Minecraft a little bit in episode 2 of DeREZD. We want to hear from you guys. Let us know what you think of the show. We can be found at vgpodcasts.com. You can email us at vgpodcasts@gmail.com. Or you can call our voicemail line, which is area code 505 VG Podcasts. If you send in a voicemail, we will play it in an upcoming show. Even if we have to censor the heck out of it, we will play it in an upcoming show. So send in those voicemail clips, and we'll get them in a future episode of DeREZD.
Do it.
All right, man. Well, that was the intro, so we can now talk. We can talk shop. So what's new with you, Will? It's been a week since we last talked. Well, not quite. We talked on Monday because we did the Inside Disney Infinity together. But let's pretend it's been a week since we last talked. Anything new in your life of gaming?
You know, nothing too much. The only new exciting video game related thing that I have that's new this week, and I've yet to give it a shot, is I got an invite to the Elder Scrolls Online closed beta over the week, and it literally took me about 72 hours to download.
Yeah,
I was downloading at like 3 bits per second.
Yeah,
it was. I gave up on it, and then I just happened to check again today, and it was at 100%. So I think there's just a graphics bug or something. But anyway, I'm excited to check that out. And even though
awesome.
if I do play it, it's going to be on the console when it releases, but figured why not? I have no other games to play this weekend, so
it's a good one to get started in. I heard that the install is something crazy, like 12 gigs or something crazy.
It was like 22, I think,
maybe
for
22.
me. Yeah, which isn't abnormal for MMOs, you know, but
sure.
Being in beta and stuff, I wasn't sure.
Well, it's a closed beta, but they opened it up to a lot of people. I saw a website was giving away 20,000 codes. So
Wow.
I'm thinking that might be the cause for the slow downloads, because 20,000 people were trying to download the same 22 gigs that you were, which is ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, I guess they're trying to break a world record on a stress test this weekend or
Right.
something.
Right.
So, which is dumb because honestly, who cares about an unreleased game as far as record breaking?
Yeah.
But
I'm staying far away from that game. And it's not because I don't like Elder Scrolls. I'm a huge Elder Scrolls fan from way back in the day. Played the hell out of Morrowind, played the heck out of Oblivion, and all the other games, Skyrim, of course, even the earlier ones before they were 3D and fun. I love it, but I have made the personal promise to myself that I will never pay a monthly fee to play a game again. So that is why I'm staying away, because I know, like every other promise I make to myself, as soon as I experience the thing I say will never do, all bets are out the window, and I'll just say, well, all right, I'll pay just a couple months, and then that becomes a forever thing. So I'm being strong. I'm being strong-willed because I know what my propensity is for breaking my promises to myself.
well, I will lie to you and not tell you how amazing it is
Good.
or is not. We don't want another repeat of you dying for a PlayStation 4 when you said you weren't going to need it for a while, right?
Yeah. You know, I almost got one last weekend, actually.
Did you find one?
A buddy texted me saying, "Hey, get down here. They have 3 in stock." And so I flew down to the local future shop and came in, and I was there about 10 minutes after my buddy texted me, and they were gone.
Oh,
They sold in the 10 minutes from when I got a text. And I was just like, no, why didn't you buy it for me? He's like, because I didn't think so. I thought you'd be here fast enough.
that's
Although
heartbreaking.
we were standing right by each other, so I don't know why we were screaming at each other across a long distance. But yeah, I almost had one. I could almost taste it. And then I, in fact, did not get one. So it's getting closer. I will have one soon. I know it. It'll be done.
I bet your buddy was lying to you. They probably only had one in stock. He bought it, but he just
Yeah.
wanted to torture you.
He probably bought all 3 and they're on eBay right now.
Yeah.
He just wanted to see me race down and run into a store so he could film it and put it up on YouTube or something.
And show the rush that's still out there to get him.
He probably said, okay, if I can make a guy run in here like an idiot, will you give me a discount on this stereo that I'm looking at? And I said,
It was
sure.
a video game bet. That's too funny.
I bet you it's something like that. I'll get to the bottom of that in the coming days, I'm sure.
Well,
Cool.
besides not getting a PS4, what have you been up to this last week?
Work, man.
Yeah.
This week has been a week to end all weeks. It's been really crazy. Yeah, playing a lot of games in the evenings to kind of de-stress. But yeah, that's about it, man. I don't know, planning some other stuff to do with you, some live streaming stuff. So figuring out how we're going to do that and hooking up different bits of hardware and stuff. So I've been playing with some hardware and some games, but nothing super exciting. Although I did get Bravely Default today. That is kind of exciting.
I'm excited to hear about that. I've been watching the news about all week, and I can't wait to hear what you think.
Mm-hmm. I am so excited for it. I played the demo, which is awesome. Played a lot of the demo, and I think I have 1 or 2 more gifts to unlock in the demo that get transferred to the main game when you start it. Because you know about the demo, how it was a separate story than the actual full release game. Did you hear about that?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, so they put out a demo that is about 8 hours of content. And doing stuff in the demo, like beating a boss or doing quests for people in the city, unlocks items, gifts that will come to you when you start the full game. So it'll read the save game for the demo, and then they'll appear in the full game when you start it. So it's a pretty amazing thing for Square Enix to do, which was release a 8-hour-ish, well, I guess it could be 4, 5, 6, depending on how much you grind, little snapshot of the game, which isn't a snapshot. It's this whole other game. It's whole other thing that doesn't exist in the main game, which is really, really darn cool.
That's awesome. That kind of reminds me of what Kojima's doing with the newest.
Yeah.
Well, except it's much less than 8 hours.
This one is free, not $40, and it's 8 hours, not 2 hours. So, but kind of the same thing. I heard a lot of people talking about that Kojima thing, and I'm just like, really? They're selling you a demo for $40? Okay.
Well, let's be honest. Zone of Enders on PlayStation 2. You bought that game just so you could get the Sons of Liberty demo, didn't you? Back
Yeah.
in the day on PS2.
Yeah, I did that for Crackdown as well to get the
Oh
Halo
yeah.
beta.
Yep. Me
Which
too.
which was great because Crackdown was better than the Halo multiplayer beta. So I played the hell out of Crackdown, which was great.
And I never would have played that game, I don't think, otherwise. And I'm
Oh,
really, really glad because that
yeah.
was one of my probably favorites on 360.
Yeah, I don't think anybody would have. It was kind
Hmm.
of funny after that whole beta thing came out. The amount of copies of Crackdown that obviously were not played because they were there the day after it came out that were sitting in EB Games. So people would buy the game, take out the demo code, and then get it back in directly to EB Games or GameStop, depending on which part of the country you're in, and they would get their credit right away and then put it towards something else. It was kind of ridiculous that was happening.
That's funny.
So my local EB had about a dozen copies on the same day that were used, but they didn't have the demo. But the funny thing is, you needed the actual game to play the demo. So all these people traded in, grabbed the key or the piece of paper or whatever, and then they obviously didn't get a chance to play the demo unless they came back and bought a used copy. It was the weirdest thing that happened.
That's too funny.
But yeah, I think it was a game that no one would have played if it didn't have the Halo beta included in the box copy that you bought.
Smart move on their part.
Mm-hmm.
That's for sure.
Yeah, exactly. Cool. All right. Well, let's get into the meat of the show. We're going to start off with something we're not going to do every single week, but we're going to do it every couple weeks when something pops into one of our ears, and that is talk a little bit about something that's gaming culture related. So, Will, you had an idea for something that we can maybe discuss a little bit before starting the show. So why don't we get into it a little bit?
Yeah, so the background where I got this idea, I read a article, I think The Verge and or Polygon last week, and it was talking about how video games can affect how you act in your dreams. And this, although not really the same thing, it kind of made me think a little bit about how I act in video games based on kind of my real life personality. So, and this is lots of different things, and this is very, very different than the argument of like, do games make you violent or anything like that. This is more of a, in games with morality, what type of choices do you make? Are you the good guy or the bad guy, and how does that reflect on your personality? In that particular scenario, it depends on my mood. Sometimes I try to play, straight laced, and then other times I want to be not myself, and I go and am Paragon and Mass Effect or whatever. So that's part of it. So Lloyd, how's that when you're playing games with morality? Do you tend to mirror yourself, or do you kind of do a little bit of both depending on your mood?
Yeah, usually when I'm playing a game that has some sort of morality thing where you can either be the good guy or the bad guy and you get different powers or things one way or the other, I usually play through the game at least once. Oftentimes I'll play through both ways just to get both endings or whatever. But I usually play through as the good guy. I originally thought that I would because I was thinking about this a little while ago, and I thought that I would go through all these games as the bad guy. So I went through my PlayStation history, and I was looking at all my trophies, like for games like, I can't even remember some of the games that they are, but they're not coming to my brain, but it doesn't matter. But I'm looking at the trophies, and I got all the trophies for going through as the good guy. And it's like, oh, really? I thought I played that game as the bad guy, but I guess I never went back and did that. So yeah, for those types of games that have like a direct moral compass, like a Mass Effect, where you choose the glowing blue instead of the glowing red. I always, the first time through, played the super good guy, which is different than, say, an Elder Scrolls. When I play an Elder Scrolls game, I usually play as kind of like the thief, rogue, archer kind of guy. So I'm always hiding in the shadows, popping people with arrows from as far away as I possibly can, and stealing every single thing in their house that is not nailed down, which is not anything that I would ever do in real life. I would never shoot someone with an arrow. I would never steal stuff from their house, and I would never break into their house in the first place. But when I play games like Elder Scrolls, if I can't get into a door, I get really angry, and I get really like, I get not really concerned, but I'm more curious, I guess, where it's like, what if they have something cool in there? I want to go check it out. So first thing I do always is I go train up lock picking, and I get a bunch of lock picks until I can pick open the door, get in, and snoop around. And that's just how it's always been in those types of games. Which is weird because I play through all the moral games as like the super good guy, Man of Steel kind of character. Kind of really weird.
If I may, I just had thought as you're telling me this, the games and those kind of themes are very different. So on the morality type games, you have a morality system that generally those games affect you. So if you're playing Mass Effect, you might get different powers, or if you're playing like BioShock, you may get more whatever it was called if you ended the little sisters.
Right.
But when you have this sandbox game and there's like all these, what's behind that door, or you want all of the options of the world.
I want all the stuff.
Yeah. So that's kind of interesting. It seems like that might dictate your decisions a little bit.
Yeah, it definitely does. I just remember what the game I was looking in. I was looking at the original Infamous because I was super excited about playing Infamous Second Son when it comes out on the PlayStation 4. And it's like, how did I play Infamous? I know I was I had to have been a bad guy. I was Bad Cole. And then I went in the game. I'm like, no, I was goody Cole. Really? I'm gonna have to go back in the game and play through as the ultra evil guy.
That's funny. Well, what about how you played the game? I was so you heard me talk a while ago. I recently beat Uncharted 3 for the first time, and I'm a longtime Uncharted fan. So I beat the third game, and then I was like, the reason I love those games is because of the story. So I went on YouTube and I found like these movies which had all the cutscenes and as much gameplay required to get the story across. And so there's a little bit of gameplay in there, and I kept watching this guy, and every chance he got where there's a group of enemies, he would throw a grenade. And that just kind of dawned on me because I hoard those things and like no other, because I'm always afraid there's going to be like a situation where I'm going to need it. And then I end up like not being able to pick up anymore when I get to them because I don't have any space. And I was talking to my fiance the other day, and this very much mirrors my real life persona because I have this weird thing when it comes to like special types of food or anything that is perishable. And I hoard it. I don't want to eat it because I'm afraid I'm not going to find something else like it. And so that was a direct one-to-one correlation with my real life. Is there anything like gameplay like that kind of reflects
yeah, I'm the exact same way. I played through Castlevania Symphony of the Night when it first came out on PlayStation without eating any food or any of the consumable items because I thought there might be a boss battle and I'll need them all. So I never want to use anything like that. It's the same thing in like Final Fantasy. Like I'll use the potions and and all of the common things, but any of the like super rare stuff, even the stuff that raises your stats, it's like I'm just gonna hang on to this for a little bit because I just kind of squirrel it away because you never know, rainy day might happen. I'm the exact same way.
Yeah, that's too funny. Yeah, I don't know. I just thought this was kind of interesting because reading that article, and it's a bigger conversation, I think, than again just morality. And if you want to play the good guy or the bad guy,
yeah.
I feel like in a lot of, especially when it's situational, like you said with the lock picks, it really is kind of a mirror of yourself in some ways.
Right. Yeah, it totally is. So, how about everybody listening right now in the chat room or people are listening in as an MP3 download? Why don't you send in and let us know what kind of gamer you are? Do you play as the goody good, uphold all of the virtue in the country kind of player? Are you the I'm evil incarnate and I will melt your brain with my evil fists kind of character? Or are you somewhere in the middle? How do you play those games? Are you a hoarder? Do you play as the evil sneaky around guy? Or are you the big bruising guy with a board and sword and just hack people to death that way? When you have a game where you can make choices like this, what kind of gamer are you? I'm seeing some people in the chat room that are goody two shoes, which is good. Sinister says he's a goody two shoes.
Very, very contradictory of your name.
Yeah, exactly. It's ironic. He's Sinister, ironically. Yeah, I guess I don't know. I guess when games are really role playing, and I'm role playing a character, it takes on aspects of myself. But when I'm role playing how I would like to live in this world, not so much my character and with interactions, I'm the other way. It's weird. Like now that I think about it, in Skyrim, when I have communication with people, so you're going through the chat tree, I always talk them to them nicely. I'm never like the ass or the evil person. So maybe it's just my interactions with people. I don't even want virtual characters to think I'm not a nice guy. Maybe it's my Canadian side showing. I don't know.
I think so. You want everyone to like you, even virtual people.
Yeah, exactly. This evil character that kills everybody doesn't like me. I'm terrible. Yeah, maybe that's a little bit what it is. So yeah, everybody at home, let us know what you how you play games. Send them in vgpodcasts@gmail.com, and we'll maybe read out some of the good ones in the next couple episodes here on DeREZD. All right, well, that was our gaming culture section. Let's move into our big news item of the week, which we're calling End of Line. I should have the sample from Tron for them saying Master Computer MCP saying End of Line. That would be awesome. We'd probably get pulled down from YouTube though, so maybe that's not a good idea. Anyway, our End of Line for this week, the big news item of the week, is Sonic the Hedgehog. Believe it or not, Sonic Boom, which is amazing that this title was not used in any Sonic game ever. It seems like a given that this would be a name that Sonic Team would have used. But news broke this week about a new Sonic game. It's called Sonic Boom. And unlike pretty much every other Sonic game that has ever come out, it is actually being developed by a Western development team. It's being developed by Big Red Button, which is a development team. They've been working on it for 2 years. This game is going to be a Wii U exclusive. It's part of one of the Nintendo's announced 3, I guess, IP for only the Wii U. Their exclusive IP for the Wii U Sonic games that they talked about at E3, I believe. And Sonic Boom is this. It's interesting. It's definitely a Western styled character. So all the characters look very hipster. They're all wrapped in bandages. Sonic has a scarf on.
Of course.
Just like you're walking in downtown Manhattan and you're going to a Starbucks. I'm surprised he doesn't have skinny pants on and really thick framed plastic glasses. I think that might be one of the things that you unlock later in the game. But it looks really, really interesting. Not so much for Sonic or the character style, like Knuckles is in this game, and he looks like a guy, the guys that go to the gym that only work on their upper body, and they have like shoulders that are about 7 feet across, but they have these little stick legs. That Knuckles is one of those stick legs kind of guys. It's really weird.
Okay, so I just pulled up. We were talking about this pre-show, and I saw this picture earlier today. I honestly thought it was a parody. I was like, These are not the real characters, are they?
Yeah, no, that's the art that they gave out. So you have Tails, who's kind of I don't know, just normal Tails-y self. You have,
he looks probably the most normal.
Yeah, he looks pretty normal. You have, like I said, Knuckles, who's he skipped leg day a few too many times, and he looks very, very skinny legged. Sonic has like I said, the hipster scarf, which is weird, and then
he's kind of wearing leggings there too. I think that's tape, but it kind of looks like leggings.
Yeah. And then you have the girl, I think her name's Amy, I can't remember, who just looks kind of normal-ish as well. The one really interesting thing with this art style is Sonic wears gloves, but he has bandages on his gloves because that makes sense at all when you're already wearing something on your hands. You need bandages over it.
You got to tape them when you're running that fast. You got to tape your gloves down so they don't go flying off. Hit someone.
You solved it, Will. That is exactly what the problem is.
That's why you keep me around.
You're the brains of the operation, for sure. But yeah, so Sonic Boom is a new game, which is interesting. Even more interesting is it starts a whole other I don't know, merchandising, I don't know, bonanza for Sega. So this game is being developed Western, in America, so not a typical Japanese game. The cartoon that they announced, they have 52 episodes, 52 11-minute episodes, so it's going to be kind of like Adventure Time so you're going to probably have 2 episodes in one, for 26 of those. And it's also done by a Western team, or at least the art style is, unlike every other Sonic cartoon that's been on TV, which has been very much influenced by anime culture. So this one's being developed here, and there's even a toy agreement that's been put out, and there's going to be toys based on the cartoon and the game as well. I believe being designed by the same North American design team. So I don't know, maybe Sega finally said, okay, we've tried 17 times and it's never worked. Maybe we should let other people figure out what we can do with Sonic, and Sonic Boom is going to be what that is. I don't know. What are your thoughts?
I think this is good news. So the talk of the town lately has been all about Nintendo's failures, past and potentially present.
Yeah.
I think this is them kind of acknowledging one aspect of their failures is games that are appealing on the Wii U console.
Sure.
So if, Sonic has brand loyalty similar to Mario, probably not as much, but there's quite a bit there. And there's been lots of failed attempts at not reboots, but, new games and stuff like that. And so bringing a good Sonic game to the system, I think would be very good.
Yeah.
But not only that, just going by the bullet points that you went through, there's going to be, it's kind of this transmedia event happening with the animated series that will be coinciding with the games. Mm-hmm. It's going to be a 3DS version, which is in the same world. Yep. And you can tell they're really kind of taking their time and really doing this right and throwing whatever they can at it to really make this a success. And that's exactly what the Wii U needs right about now, is a success like this. So something, and although Mario and Luigi is great, we all love that, it is nice to get something a little bit different. So
No, I fully agree with you. I played Sonic Lost World recently, and I said I do not have a taste for Sonic at all. I don't like going through a level that is huge and only seeing 5% of it, collecting rings because you only have 300 seconds to get through a level. I love exploration. I love collecting things, but not losing them all when I get hit. And so when I heard people talking about this, I was just like, yeah, whatever. It's not even going to be fun. It's not something I'm going to look at. And then I saw people talk about it some more and some more and some more. It's like, fine. So I went and I looked at the gameplay trailer. And like I said earlier, it looks like a Ratchet and Clank game. Like, it doesn't look like a typical Sonic game. It looks like you're going to be exploring areas. You're going to be breaking things, like to get through levels, breaking walls to get into secret levels. It looks like it's going to be cooperative gameplay, so you're going to have all 4 characters with you. Looks different than anything that Sonic has been recently, which makes me immediately get a little bit more excited for it than I normally would, because I'm not a Sonic guy at all. I liked the first one when it came out, and that's about it.
On Genesis?
Yeah, exactly. I liked Sonic Adventure on the Dreamcast because it was like, holy crap, this game looks awesome on the Dreamcast.
The graphics were amazing.
And that's about it. Got to cut some people in the chat room. Havoc Rewind says Knuckles looks like Johnny Bravo. Yeah, he looks very Johnny Bravo. He just needs the pompadour, and then he'd be very very Johnny Bravo-esque. Sinister saying Ratchet and Clank. Now you have my attention. So I'm not the only one that thinks Ratchet and Clank mixed with Sonic would be a good game. Sinister also says that he thinks it will take more than a mascot to save the Wii U, and I think the one failing point for this game is that it is tied to the Wii U. It's an exclusive to the Wii U and 3DS. Maybe the 3DS version will save it, though, because there are a lot of 3DSs out there. But so I don't know. This is interesting. I'm actually excited about a Sonic property now, which I haven't been for ever. I think is something safe to say. So yeah, I guess the other neat thing that will come from this is immediately when this game comes out, Super Smash Brothers will look dated because it will have the old terrible Sonic model in it, not this new hipster Sonic model. So all the kids will be complaining. I want my Sonics with with scarves. Damn it, Nintendo! Can't you get that right? Maybe that'll be an unlock you can get in Super Smash Brothers or whatever Smash Brothers.
There you go.
Brawl, whatever it is. I can't remember what it's called. It's late.
Yeah, the game looks gorgeous.
Yeah.
I just watched the trailer and it looks really pretty, and the gameplay does look very interesting.
Yeah.
Be interesting how they decide to the 3DS version, if it's going to be a side scroller or if it's going to be kind of an open world platformer like this.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, looks pretty good.
Yeah, like I said, I'm excited. It feels so wrong to say that about a Sonic game because they've been so just rote and boring lately, and just not something that I've been interested in. But I know that Sonic has a lot of fans, so I don't want to insult any Sonic fans out there. That's just not my game. I'm a Mario guy, but this one looks like it could be really, really interesting. Cool. All right. Well, that's the end of line, which is very awkward. So let's get into the news. First off, this one it's awesome for us here.
Awesome.
Us here at the VG Podcast Network, and that is a new game that we've talked about previously on some other shows here on the network, which is the 90s Arcade Racer. It's a game that I kickstarted on Kickstarter. I guess Kickstarter is a verb now, I guess.
I think so.
And they posted some new screenshots this week in an update with the I guess the port to the Wii U, because they had talked about it coming to a bunch of different consoles, but now they have actually released some screenshots and some info on the Wii U port. And right there on the first image of the update is the game running on a Wii U gamepad. And funny enough, the billboard that is right beside the car, immediately in focus, is my logo for the network. It's our logo for the network. Everybody's logo for the network that is a fan of the show, for VGPodcast.com, sitting right there on the screen, which is awesome.
Awesome.
And this image was everywhere, man.
It was. You posted this or you sent me a link to this image, and I thought it was something that you had taken. And then the next day I was perusing Joystick, and there's an article about 90s Arcade Racer, and I'm like, look at there.
Yeah,
it showed up again. So
it's really, really kind of cool to have my baby that I've been working on forever kind of show up there. It's just like, wow, that is really cool. Awesome. And then immediately I got some people talking to me on Twitter, and they're like, what happened? How did you get this? Are they a fan of your network? And I'm like, well, they might be a fan of my network. I'm not sure. But the reason how I got this is I paid like $160 in my Kickstarter to basically design a billboard. And this is the billboard that I designed. And it's funny, when I was going back and forth with the main programmer, I basically sent him a first idea that I had for it. And he's like, okay, we'll do it up and we'll look and we'll see if it fits in with the look and feel of the game. And I sent him a version, and he's like, yep, no, that's perfect. This looks awesome. Your logo's awesome. The background of the logo's awesome. This is going to be great. And I'm like, oh, I was going to give you some more revisions. He's like, no, this is perfect, man. This looks just as good as anything that I hoped would come. I guess he was really panicked that it would be people doing stuff up in like MS Paint or something, or some crazy adult themed image just to deface the game. But yeah, no, it's super exciting. So we'll post a link to that screenshot in the show notes for sure. I'm excited for my billboard, of course, that I had worked on, but I'm even more excited for this game to come out. It's going to be on PC, it's going to be on Mac, it's going to be on Wii U, and it's called 90s Arcade Racer. And if you've ever played like Daytona or Cruisin' or any of the arcade racers that came out in the 90s, if you can't figure that out already by the name of the game, that's what they're really in love with. And it's going to be basically an arcade racer that you're going to be able to play and compete with your friends and it just looks so good. So it's going to be coming at 720p at 60 frames a second on the Wii U, whether it's running on your TV or the gamepad. And it's going to be coming out probably in the middle of this year. So
that's awesome.
I'm thinking June, July. It was supposed to be out in December, but they added a bunch more functionality to it. So I'm really, really excited to see what comes of this game, and even more excited to just stop in the middle of a race and stare at my pixels in a game, because that's pretty darn cool.
Well, it's cool. It reminds me of, like if you're at a sporting event or something, and or you somehow you get on the news and it's just a brief flash, and you see yourself, you're like, hey, that's me, that's me. That's exactly what this reminded me of. It's like, this is so cool. And anyone that doesn't know would probably like understand this kind of thing. You just wouldn't get it. You're like, it's a picture with a website. I don't get it. Yeah. Like, I'm sure if I showed my fiance, she'd be like, why are you so excited? And I'm like, trust me, this is cool.
I showed it up on the live stream again. But yeah, it's really cool. It even says like gaming talk at the bottom, so people will see it and they're like, oh yeah, I wonder what that is. Oh, it's gaming talk. I want to see what this gaming talk thing is. And they go to vgpodcast.com and maybe listen to the show talking about 90s Arcade Racer. It'll be sort of meta. It'll be really kind of bizarre. But yeah, it's our first item, 90s Arcade Racer, post status update, and it actually looks cool because my billboard's there, which is really awesome. Cool, let's move on. Xbox One update coming shortly with a whole bunch of features for your lovely Xbox, Will. What makes you excited about this February 11th update that's coming down the pipe?
Well, actually, what makes me excited about the February 11th update is the March update that will be coming shortly after. So I knew there's going to be an update in March, and that was going to take care of a lot of the kind of problems that the user interface has specifically right now. And a lot of that has to do with, I'm sure most of you out there know that the Xbox One, although it improved in concepts a lot of the way the operating system works, it made it a lot slower and not as streamlined compared to the 360. And whenever you're doing something like this, there's going to be hits and misses, but it's pretty frustrating when you have a brand new console that's supposed to be top of the line and it doesn't quite work as well in some regards as the 360 does. And most of that has to do with multiplayer, like getting into parties, game invites and stuff like that. So that is actually, and so that was the update we knew was coming in March, and that's dropping right before Titanfall, no pun intended. And that's going to be perfect timing because that's a multiplayer-centric game. But what this update does, and so I guess maybe the reason this makes me excited is I'm excited to see the console improving already, and they're not waiting necessarily a month to just condense it all into one big update.
Sure.
So this update is coming with battery life indicators for your controllers, which for the longest time was something I'm just like, it's there. I'm just not looking in the right spot.
It has to be there. Who would design a system without telling you that? Yeah.
I'm like taking the back of the controller apart and looking, seeing if there's a button like on your MacBook,
You take it into the bathroom to see if anything glows at all. No, I don't see any glowing.
Yeah.
What is this?
Yeah.
That's funny.
Exactly. The inclusion of USB keyboard with the console. I'm never going to use that, but I guess it'll be nice for some. And honestly, knowing Microsoft track record, there hasn't been any indication that you're going to be able to use a keyboard for gaming. I think this is mostly just to type. But who knows? That's all there is with that. And then, of course, lots of behind-the-scenes updates, which hopefully means bug squashing because there's still lots of bugs.
So I heard something, and I don't have an Xbox One, so I can't comment either way. But I heard a rumor that you don't get a notification when one of your friends logs on or logs off on the system at all.
Nope. Which is really, really frustrating. Having a console that is always on.
And is social. They've always been the social play with your friends console.
Exactly. So it's a good and bad thing. Half the time I log on, honestly, is out of everyone I know who has an Xbox One, besides one other person, I'm the only one that's running TV through theirs from everyone I know. And I'm sure there's lots of people doing it. But still half the time I log in, all my friends are either on YouTube or Netflix, and you can, it's like PlayStation or anything. You can kind of look at the playlist and see, okay, there's no mutual friends on, so he's just waiting for someone to play. And I didn't know he was on already, and he didn't send me a notification. And
Wow.
I don't know. I know you kind of switched over to PS3, but in the later years, I guess, of the console of the 360, they had beacons that you could also set for specific games. Again, that was a relatively new feature, and so I was expecting that to be in there as well, and that at least could have been a stopgap. But yeah, there's nothing like that whatsoever, and that will be included in the March update, but not the February, unfortunately.
So bizarre.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, it's a huge undertaking to come up with a new system that is wholly different architecture and then kind of redo 7 years worth of development on your user interface and bring it over to the new system. But things like battery indicators and letting you know when your friends log on, it's just, that seems like no-brainers. But I guess they were features that got pushed off the table for bigger and more important things that they had to for sure get in there for launch.
Yeah. Well, and it's like anything, it's never going to be perfect, but I must admit it is a lot more buggy than I expected it to be. The other day, I spent 15 minutes trying to boot a game after a game update, and I finally had to pull the power on it. And
wow,
yeah,
that's wow. That's what that is. Sinister says, "Are they going to fix the freaking store, Will?"
I think they are making small updates to it. I know they are splitting out your games and apps. I think that is also going to. They're going to do a little bit of massaging on the store as well. But yeah, the store is kind of weird. It's unless you're looking for something that's featured, it's really hard to find a lot of things. For example, if you and this is kind of a cool feature, but if you're looking for anything to watch, your best bet is to Bing it and see if it's on Netflix or Hulu or video on demand. Wow. Via Xbox, because it's impossible to find a movie on Xbox unless you do that.
Wow, that's crazy, ridiculous. But hey, things will get better.
Yeah,
it's a console that is going to grow with the times. Just some of the things that seem like no-brainers still are in the oven, I guess.
Well, it's funny because you got to think to yourself, it's like. That's what a beta is a lot of times, right? Is figuring out those obvious things that you're missing. I mean, most of the times it's bugs and stuff like that, but sometimes it's when decisions are kind of made in a vacuum, there's always going to be wrong decisions, but it takes like getting it out into millions of people's hands to really figure out, oh, this was like smacked us in the face, kind of like the name, right? That's a perfect example of it.
Yeah.
It's like, how did this pass any kind of a review?
How does this make sense?
Yeah.
In what world is this a logical thing to do? Yeah. Really bizarre. Yeah. Bizarre. But at least they're going to fix some of it, which is a really, really great thing.
Yep. We're still not getting live streaming, which is the one feature I'm still biting at the bit for.
I think I figured out the reason why.
Why is that?
Well, you know how your console, you can just tell it to go to TV whenever you want to, Will, because you have it hooked up with your TV stuff. They don't ever want you to have the chance to live stream that. I'm thinking that they have to put some more work into basically filtering out some of the HDMI pass-through stuff, software side. Similar to on the PlayStation 4, when you're doing live streaming and you get messages on your screen, they get kind of blurred out. They're probably looking at ways that they can do that for live video. It's probably just the throughput like it's just too much for them to do a feature like that. So they're probably going to put in some more safeguards to kind of block people out from doing that. But it's probably interesting. It's probably something just as stupid as that is keeping the software from launching.
But that's something the PS4 does not have to contend with.
That's right. Yeah.
So making that process a little easier for them, maybe.
It's the game box for games, not for all the other stuff. Sinister says live stream the Playboy Network. Yeah, it'll be like when PS4 people were twitching themselves playing strip poker and all that other stuff. Yeah, if there's a will, there's a way. That it's hard. I can't say that phrase anymore since you're Will, and it just kind of confuses the whole thing, Will. So I'm sorry, but yeah, okay. If there's a will, there's a way to get that type of stuff on the screen. So it's yeah.
That's probably a good way to get lots of followers, though.
People are watching these guys I think there was 2,200 people that were watching these people get drunk, and then next thing you know, this guy's tearing off his wife's shirt and all this other stuff, and then their account got banned from Twitch. So it was great story to launch into the new console generation. Awesome. Well, let's move on to an actual exciting story. Valkyrie, which is it's an EVE game. So CCP Games makes EVE Online. They make Dust, and their next game is going to be EVE Valkyrie. And it's been announced that Oculus is going to be co-publishing it, and it's going to be a Rift exclusive launch title for the Oculus Rift when it comes out for the retail version of the Oculus. That is great news that they're actually spending money to get basically exclusive software for the Oculus, which is already something that makes every gamer drool just thinking about it. I don't know. I think this is a really great thing. EVE Valkyrie seems like maybe a strange title to go with, but hey, it's exclusive, so that's not a terrible thing, I guess.
Yeah. I think it's cool. Valkyrie started as a tech demo with a small team, and it was going to be a huge success. Isn't the right word, but just showing that off made lots of people really excited. Yeah, and seeing this kind of hybrid publishing thing. I mean, it's not new, but having this hardware company co-publishing with CCP, making it less risky for CCP and giving Oculus it's kind of a console seller, right? I mean, we always talk about that. And although the Rift isn't a console, it gives you a very, very specific reason to buy that game. And not that I would have not anyway, but now I'm even more excited.
I was talking to a buddy at work today, and he has a Rift, or an Oculus Rift, and I'm like, "You just telling me this now?" I'm like, "You're working on a game?" He's like, "No, I just didn't want to wait, so I ordered one of the dev kits." I'm like, "Really?" Well, okay. Well, you're a bit of a bigger VR nerd than I am, I guess. But yeah, I want to check that out and play through it a little bit. We have some news from the chat room. Will Jaina Q in the chat room says we should call the section, our new section, denewsed with a Z. What do you think?
I like it. Except it does muddy the water when we were just talking about strip poker a few minutes ago. And you want to make sure that Z is pronounced very well.
Yes, exactly. Awesome. So are you excited for, like, not to jump off topic, although we always do, so I don't know why I say that. Are you excited for Oculus, Will?
I was this close to purchasing one this summer. I just had a little extra money in my pocket. I think it was after a birthday or something, and my finger was on the buy button for a dev unit. Mm-hmm. The only reason I did it was because I'm an instant gratification guy, and the wait, I think, was like a month to 3 months. Right. And but yeah, I am sold. I think in a lot of ways this is going to be the next evolution of media, and I don't just mean video games. I think there's going to be some interactive media like movies and stuff that's going to come out of this. Yeah. I am so excited. I'm glad I waited now because the production is going to be 1080p and much better with the kind of spatial orientation and stuff. So, what about you? You're pretty excited too, right?
Oh no. No, I hate VR. I hate everything to do. No,
video games.
I am so excited. I've been a huge VR nerd way back when getting into a virtual reality unit meant strapping on a 40-pound helmet with cables inside of a little like hula hoop type thing that was tracking your movement. Playing Dactyl Nightmare with like flat shaded polygons was as crazy as it was. But even then, you get picked up by the dactyl and it drops you, and you look down and your stomach drops. I've heard some people talk about some of the demos out for Oculus right now, or a video that I saw on Joystick, or it was either Joystick or Kotaku, about an event that people went to recently where you strap on an Oculus and you get into a cage, and you're basically in a game where you're going up basically almost like a ski lift, but you're inside of a cage, like a gondola type thing, and then it starts like kind of rocking back and forth, and you see the people there and they put their arms out and they're kind of rocking back and forth because it tricks you so much, even with the dev units, which aren't even like Retina because they're not going to be 1080p yet. The dev units, I think they're 480p. It just makes me so excited about jumping into the next Elder Scrolls game in 1080p strapped to my head and looking around and like peering around corners by tilting my head. That makes me excited beyond anything else. Like I didn't need next gen consoles if I could have an Oculus Rift that I could play next gen games on. Like I would have paid $1,000 for that. And the fact that it's going to be coming out hopefully this year, unless they hit some snags, makes me really, really excited. I just hope that it's not a PC only thing. I hope that the console support is more than just like plugging an HDMI into a base unit and then seeing what the TV sees. I hope that there is going to be games that allow you to use Rift on, say, your PlayStation 4 or your Xbox One. But we'll see what happens when it gets closer to launch, I guess. E3 should be big for Oculus.
Yeah, it is. A lot of the conversation leading up to this launch was about the graphic fidelity and how it's just not making the leaps and bounds that previous generations were. And I think we're relatively soon going to get to that point where it's like, okay, it's hard to tell anymore. And I think, and that's how developers have conveyed immersion in the past, because making it lifelike, we know it's a flat surface. It's a 3D image on a flat surface. It's the only way to kind of to convey that immersion. But this is different. This is actually immersing you in the experience. I think that's going to be huge for kind of the way things go moving forward. Mm-hmm. I also think, and I'm going to go out on a limb here, I don't expect to see it on Xbox for a long time. I expect it to be PC, and then relatively soon after some PlayStation integration there.
Sure.
I just historically, and I think Xbox is going to take a long time to get on that bus, and which makes me sad. But as long as I'm with you, I don't want it to be PC only, because there's so many console gamers out there, and this experience is just as positive for console gamers, if not more so in some ways.
Yeah, no, so. I hope it comes to iPad too.
Yeah.
As stupid as that sounds, I want it on everything that I experience video or content of any type. Like, can you imagine like working on like a website and doing it in virtual reality, and then you look to the side and you're coding, and then you look over here and you're in Photoshop, and it's just having a screen on the strap to your face that is like, say, mapping out a 3D world around you. I could just see it used for so many things. Like a day doesn't go by that I don't see some other use for Oculus come out in the news. Like today, there was an article about a scientist that is using the Oculus to aid with some brain damage in some people, where they're using video games and the Oculus to aid in certain types of damage to people's brains. And it's like, wow, this really is like a next gen game changer. And it's very exciting to be living in this time where VR is so close to being something that everybody can afford. It's not a 25,000 pod that you have to jump into and strap on 100 pounds of equipment. Gets me very excited. I mean, I'm not excited at all, Will. I'm just talking because I got it.
You actually hate video games. That's what you told me before the show started.
I've never played a game in my life. This is all just, I read a lot. That's all it is. I just read all the time. So that's why I can talk about it in such a great way.
That's funny.
All right. Moving on. There was an announcement this week where Amazon bought a game development company which is weird. They bought Double Helix Games. If you have an Xbox One, you're probably playing a Double Helix game from time to time. They're the development team that worked on Killer Instinct for Microsoft, but they've been bought by Amazon. I don't understand this move, Will. What are your thoughts on the matter?
No idea. So Double Helix made Killer Instinct for the Xbox, which was one launch title. And so there was a very close collaboration with Microsoft and Double Helix on this. And now, a few short months after the launch, they were bought by Amazon. And I honestly, I don't know what other games they've made. I'm sure they've made more than just Killer Instinct.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think the news is not the developer. The news is that Amazon is buying a developer. And what does that mean? Does that mean they're going to start developing console games? Does that mean they're going to get into touch gaming with their Kindles?
Yeah.
Does it mean they're coming out with their own console? I mean, I don't get it.
Yeah,
it doesn't make any sense to me personally. But
it's really bizarre. In reading the articles about this move, I found out that Amazon actually has its own game studio right now, who's been creating mobile games for the Kindle. They created Air Patriots, Simple Zoo, and Airport Mania HD Free. Such gems as, I forgot to say before that sentence. So they're already doing this, and I had no clue.
Yeah.
But buying like Double Helix is, I don't know, a bit of a bigger thing. I mean, they've been around for a little bit of time. I mean, they're basically old shiny entertainment people like Earthworm Jim and MDK type people. I mean, they've been around for, I'm just looking at Wikipedia right now. 2009 is when they started. And some of the games that you might have seen are Green Lantern, Rise of the Manhunters, G.I. Joe, The Rise of Cobra, Silent Hill Homecoming, Battleship, all not so good games. And they come out with Killer Instinct, which was apparently amazing. I haven't played it yet.
Yeah, I honestly, I haven't played either. I think the only drawback to that game is the freemium model, but I've heard great things about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're also coming out with Strider
which looks great.
year. Yeah.
It looks really good. So I wonder what that's going to mean. Is it still going to come out on consoles, or are they going to pull back and Kindle exclusive Strider with no controls, touchscreen rules? I don't know. I could see something like that happen in some strange world. Microsoft's come out with the announcement and saying, don't worry. We're still going to be working with a new development partner this time on Killer Instinct, so it hasn't gone away. So I guess they're pulling the development rights from Double Helix, and they'll find someone else to work on Killer Instinct for them, which I guess is a good thing if you like Killer Instinct.
Yeah, and I don't think that's really going to change. I mean, all the heavy lifting has been done for that game. I think it would affect a sequel more than it would affect the current version. So there's nothing to worry about on that, I don't think. Yeah,
exactly. Cool. All right. Well, let's move on to a couple. We have a few quicker news items. We're going to try to keep our news section to around 4 or 5 articles on top of the end of line section, which is our main topic that we're going to focus on. But every once in a while, there's not so much news, and we'll get into some smaller things. The first one, Kaz Pushing the Virtual Divide, which is the Kazurai movie, is out on not just, what was it on before when we talked about it last week?
It was on Hulu. Crackle,
that's right,
and Amazon Instant Video.
That's right. So Sony's come out and said that it is now up on YouTube, Vimeo, and Real House. So it's on many different things, not just Hulu, which is good for people like me who can't get Hulu. So I'm going to watch it on YouTube this weekend sometime, and it should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm really curious to hear what you think about that, because I still think about that all the time. And I actually, I told my mom and my fiance about it, and I explained how well it was done, even if you're not necessarily a gamer or a car person. And then I saw a Hulu trailer for it on TV, which was kind of cool. So yeah, let me know what you think.
Yeah, I'm going to watch it. It's an hour and a half, which is bigger than I thought it would be. So it's going to be meaty. I'm definitely going to be watching that this weekend to check it out. All right, next up, Minecraft is always in the news. People don't stop chopping those blocks and putting them out and making castles out of sand. Minecraft, or I guess Mojang, this week announced that Minecraft on the PC has sold 14 million copies. 14 million.
That's insane.
Copies. It's I don't even know what to say. 11 million units. They announced in August of 2012 that they had sold 11 million units, 10 million units, and then in April 2013 they said 11 million units, and in not even another year they're at 14. So it's not slowing down, it's actually speeding up. And this is on top of them having the iOS version and the Android version. So Minecraft Mobile, which has sold like many copies. I think it was like something like 12 million or something crazy. They just announced right after the holidays, I think it was like the second week of January, that the PlayStation 3 version, which launched on the 17th of December, had already sold 1 million. I know the Xbox version has sold 6 million. It's crazy. This game just doesn't end.
It doesn't.
Which is great because I play a hell of a lot of it on my PlayStation 3, and I'm super happy that they keep producing it. So yeah, we're gonna have to get together and play some Minecraft together, Will.
Definitely. Yeah, I want you to show me the ropes. I'm holding off on it until you can kind of teach me the ways.
How about we do how about we set up a series of community game nights where we do kind of let's plays, teach Will how to play Minecraft without dying by zombies.
Can you hurt your fellow Minecraftians with a pickaxe?
You can. Okay. Unless you turn that off. So we could leave it on if you want to just hit me with an axe or a pickaxe. That's fine.
I'm just saying, if you get in the way of my rock that I'm chipping away at, I can't be responsible for.
I'm going to do this if you walk in front of my pickaxe. Yeah, exactly. Oh, Simpsons. So yeah, Minecraft sells a lot. News at 6. All right, next up and last item for today before we get into what we've been playing. Just want to let everybody know, if you have a PC and you're a PC gamer, whether it's a PC or a Macintosh, Humble Bundle has a new bundle up for 10 more days from when we're recording this, and it's called the Humble Sid Meier Bundle, and it is ridiculous. When I bought it, the average price was $5. So for $5, I got Civ 3 complete, Civ 4 complete, Sid Meier's Ace Patrol, Sid Meier's Ace Patrol Pacific Skies, Sid Meier's Railroads, and also the first unlock, because I paid the average. I got Sid Meier's Civilization 5 and Sid Meier's Civilization 5 Gods and Kings DLC. The average price now is $9, which is still just a steal. And if you pay $15, you will get the new DLC that just came out, which is Sid Meier's Civilization 5 Brave New World DLC. So for $15, you pretty much get every Civilization game that you can play these days on modern computers. They're playable on PC and Mac. Well, not all of them. A lot of them are playable on PC and Mac. Civ 5 is and Civ 4 is. All the rest are playable on PC. There's Steam unlock codes. For less than $20, you're getting probably 700 hours worth of gameplay, because Civ, you can play Civ forever. I've been wanting to try Civ 5 for a while, and I never picked it up. Now I own it, so I have no excuse, and I'm going to get into that, I don't know, sometime in the near future. But yeah, if you're looking for a huge deal for a game that you can play for pretty much ever, and a whole bunch of other games which you can play for pretty much ever, it doesn't get better than this. So do check out the new Humble Bundle at humblebundle.com. I'm going to see if there is a Humble Bumble. I think there must be.
There's got to be.
If there isn't, I'm buying the domain right now. So I'm going to go to humblebumble.com and see if it comes up. It doesn't seem to be connecting to anything. I should try to register that, because that's really funny.
Because that's a pastime of yours, right?
Yes. I own too many domains that I don't do anything with. But yeah, it's Humble. Do check it out.
It's crazy. This bundle is almost the price of the single Ace Patrol game on iOS. Even though that version doesn't come with iOS, the iOS version, but those games are a lot of fun too. I really wish they were on Mac, but like you said, the Civ 5 stuff, it's worth it just for the newest DLC alone.
Yeah,
so.
totally. I just tried to register humblebumble.com and it is owned. It just hasn't resolved anything. So someone's not using it, but they did buy it. Wouldn't that be great? Humble Bumble, which would redirect to vgpodcast.com. Every time someone types it in wrong, they would come right here. That would be great. Yeah, Sinister saying in the chat room, Brave New World by itself is $29.99. So if you buy it for half price, you get everything else thrown in for free, which is crazy.
Wow. So I thought it was $15 on top of the $9. No, you just have to spend more than $15 to unlock it.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, that's the max that you have to spend to get absolutely everything.
This goes into the Steam curse category where you're just like, I don't have time to play this right now, but I know I may one day. I'm going to buy it and throw it on the list.
I don't know if you've noticed, Will, but I have a sickness when it comes to collecting things. And you would be surprised at how large my Steam library is for someone that doesn't play games on the PC. Whenever there's a Humble Bundle, I buy it because it's like someday maybe I'll want to play VVVVVVVV. And so I download it or I purchase it and then wait to download it at some point in the future. Yeah, it's a sickness of mine, but I have a huge Steam library and maybe one day I'll play them or maybe not. But I know I will be playing Civ 5 for sure.
Well, stuff like this is you can't go wrong.
Yeah, totally. Cool. Jaina Q in the chat room says, my 4 and 6-year-old nephews learned to play Minecraft all by themselves, and their parents were surprised when they downloaded it onto the iPads without them knowing. So everybody loves Minecraft, getting back to Minecraft. Even 4 and 6-year-olds that like to download stuff on their iPads without their parents knowing. That is great. My kids love Minecraft as well. My son and daughter built their own houses this past weekend, and they were really proud of that. I didn't have to help them at all, which was really great. That's great. Operator Al says Hoarders the Steam edition. Yeah, I need to get on that. I would be the number one person. Actually, no, I wouldn't be because I don't have every Steam game. There are people that have like 2,000 games in their library, which is ridiculous. Cool, man. Let's get about do it for news. What do you say we get into what we've been playing?
Sounds great.
All right, Will. Why don't you start off with what you've been playing?
Well, you're showing me up this week. I had a very busy week, and I didn't get to game very much. Play a little bit of Battlefield, and I'm continuing to play Hearthstone. Here's a little insider tip, and I hope my boss is not listening, but Hearthstone is a great game to play when you're working from home and you're on a conference call. You can play the computer and unlock all of the characters, so awesome. The decks, essentially.
Yeah.
So that was cool.
That is great.
I felt accomplished with that. I got some work done while also unlocking all of my characters.
Which is work.
Exactly.
It's important.
It is.
It's important.
It is. Yeah, so that's all I've done. Like I said earlier, I can't wait. This weekend is all of the Elder Scrolls Online beta that it's only going to last for this weekend, at least for this round. So I'm going to try to get as much of that in as I can, which is also good because I was this close to buying. I talked about the alpha for EverQuest Landmark last week, and I'm close to buying that. So that's why you and I need to buy, or you need to teach me to play Minecraft, so that can kind of fill my building itch. Because right now I just want to build something.
Cool. Yeah, we'll do it. We'll have to set that up soon, and we'll see what we can do to capture the video and have some fun while doing it. It should be good. Awesome. What
have you been playing? That's all for me.
That's it. Okay, cool. I've been playing Minecraft, PS3. Basically, I opened the door to the end, which is the door to get to the last boss to fight the Ender Dragon. Spoilers for people that didn't know. So currently, my wife and I are outfitting ourselves. We made a bunch of diamond armor sets, and we're going to be enchanting them with all the stuff, and we're going to go kill the Ender Dragon and beat the game. And then after we do that, we're going to keep playing some more because it doesn't matter if you beat the game, you're going to keep wanting to play. So that's been our Minecraft experience so far, which has been
Nice.
really great. To take a break from Minecraft because I noticed last year I had put together a spreadsheet of every game that I started and when I started it and if I beat it and all this stuff, just to kind of have a snapshot of my year in gaming. I noticed that this year I have nothing in my spreadsheet because everything is Minecraft. So I was like, okay, I'm going to grab a game that I haven't beat yet, which I have, and play it. So I picked up picked up my copy of Saints Row 4, dropped it on my PlayStation 3 because I want to beat this, and proceeded to sit through about 50 minutes of patching. No word of a lie. I was falling asleep waiting for the game to patch, watching videos on my iPad. It was ridiculous. Finally installed it, and I am loving Saints Row 4. It is ridiculous. It is funny. It's gross. It's everything that I wanted out of a Saints Row game. So I'm currently playing through that, and I'm going to try to go for the platinum for this game because it seems like the platinum is very doable. So I'm playing a lot of Saints Row 4, and I will be playing more Saints Row 4. In fact, after we're done the show, I'll be playing Saints Row 4 because I'm totally into this game. So that one's been a lot of fun. Picked up a new game for iOS. It's called Threes, THREES exclamation mark if you're looking for it in the chat room in the App Store. And it is awesome. Have you heard of this game, Will?
I have not. Oh, yes, I have. I have.
It is
the new puzzle game, right?
Yeah, it's just a simple little puzzle game where you play it by sliding panels. And what you have to do is add up numbers to get into multiples of 3. So at first you're getting ones and twos, so you have to push a 1 onto a 2 to turn into a 3. And then you can't put any more 1s and 2s on it. You have to put the 3 with another 3 to become 6. And then you have to put 2 6s together to become 12, 2 12s together to get 24 or 48. You know, you get it. Everybody can add multiples. But you're basically in a 4x4 grid. And once you fill all of the holes in the grid, it's game over. So you have to plan how you're going to be moving things together. How are you going to be grouping things so that when you finally get that 24 you need, that you can then match it with another 24. There's a lot of strategy. It's by the developers that made Puzzle Juice, which was a really awesome word-ish game that was also on the App Store, which was so much fun when it came out. And this game has just been super, super addictive. I've been playing a lot of it. It's universal, so it runs both on your iPhone and iPad. But they haven't changed the interface on the iPad, so it's basically like just a blown-up version that you're playing on your iPhone. Doesn't matter. It's still a lot of fun. So if you're looking for another game to play on your iPhone, iPad, check out Threes. It's $1.99, which is a steal for a game that is as catchy and addictive as this game is. And last but not least, I picked up my copy of Bravely Default today. I have not played it yet. I will be playing it probably in the next couple weeks or so, but I wanted to buy it just so I have it because once I finish Saints Row, I'm going to need another big game to play through, and I think Bravely Default is going to be that one.
Yeah, I can't. That's the talk of the town this week. I can't wait to hear when you've had a little more playtime with that, to hear how it is, because it's kind of like the spiritual successor to Final Fantasy. I mean, yes, they're still making Final Fantasy games, but this has a lot of Final Fantasy in it without being a Final Fantasy. So and it looks awesome.
Yeah, no, it is basically a spiritual successor to a Final Fantasy type story. It plays like Final Fantasy 3 with your class system. It's done so many things right. I'm really excited for it. Sinister in the chat room just reminded me that Threes is on sale right now, so it's $1.99, but it won't be that forever. So if you're wanting to get that game, you might want to pick that one up shortly before it jumps up in price. But yeah, back to Bravely Default. It is a lot of fun, man. The demo is great. I'm just waiting to finish off the demo so that I can get all the free stuff that I'm going to get from porting my save game from the demo to the real version. I'm really excited. I didn't buy the collector's edition because where I buy my games, they didn't get any in because they're being very selective on which retailers get the collector's edition. Sinister in the chat room is bragging that he got the collector's edition. In fact, he was DMing me images on Twitter all day about all the nice swag that he got in his collector's edition that I didn't get. So Sinister, I want to thank you again for making me insanely jealous today. I'm very, very happy that you took your time to make me very sad that I did not get the collector's edition. All joking, of course. It looks really great. If you can pick up the collector's edition, it comes with an art book. It comes with a CD. It comes with some AR cards. It's in this like really cool fold-out box. Yeah, they're doing up really, really big for this one. And this is another win for the Nintendo 3DS because it is a 3DS exclusive right now. And there's a lot of people that have been talking about this game and super, super stoked to get it. So good on Nintendo and good on Square Enix for putting out a game that people are super, super excited for it.
Lloyd, I have a random question for you.
Sure.
And it's because I'm a 3DS noob. And I haven't besides big names, I haven't really followed it over the years. There's a lot of amazing exclusives on the 3DS. Sure. And there's been, in my opinion, more than one system seller.
Oh, yeah.
What is it that's the attraction to the 3DS? Is it the install base? Is it because having a 3DS, which is a handheld and not a TV console, provides developers a little more flexibility and less risk? I mean, what's the reason? Because I've almost bought a 3DS more times than I can count, only because they have all these amazing games for the system. Yeah,
it's a really good question. Nintendo's handhelds have always been really, really, really strong from like third-party support and first-party support. Obviously, Nintendo always supports their consoles and handhelds. The reason why I think there's so many good games on it is that the 3DS came out at a time when the PSP was winding down and you had all these really creative ideas that were coming out for handhelds, and developers were looking for a place to put them. The PSP is kind of winding down. 3DS comes out and they're like, okay, let's move our stuff over there. And it came out at the time when 3D was still a thing that people were interested in. You were going to 3D movies every week. You're buying super expensive 3D televisions with really horrible 3D shutter glasses. It was kind of like the proper time for it to come out after, obviously, that Nintendo dropped the price. And then developers did what developers do. They see that a system's selling a lot, and they want to make games for it that will also sell. There's been a lot of really great third-party games, a lot of really, really strong first-party titles. In fact, last year it was the biggest selling console. Like it did so well last year, which is great because a lot of people were thinking that it was dead when it first came out because it wasn't selling that well at all. But yeah, I mean, the best thing about the 3DS is there's so many games that it doesn't matter what you're looking for, it's on the system. Whether you're looking for a kid game for your children, there's Disney Princesses games, there's Cars, there's like Toy Story 3 on the 3DS. And then if you're looking for something that's a little bit more meatier, there's shooters, there's racing games, there's really, really deep and satisfying JRPGs like Bravely Default on the system. It's a pretty amazing little piece of hardware. And now that the 3DS XL is out, the biggest complaint that most people had was that the screens were so small has kind of gone away, because now you're playing with basically what looks like two Vita screens stacked one on top of another, which is a really great thing.
Well, that's awesome. And that right there, I think, is a product of time. That would have never been a concern, I don't really think, before the iPad, really, because you weren't used to playing on larger screens at the time, and that drove the Vita size and stuff. So
it's funny because the DSi XL, or LL in Japan, came out. Do you know why it came out? Do you know what the reason why Nintendo came out with this system?
No.
It was for
Enlighten me.
It was for old people to play Sudoku. It was essentially, that was the reason. Nintendo never came out and said that, but all their advertising for the 3DS LL was older people playing their puzzle games and Sudoku on a system that had a big screen. So it's really kind of funny. Nintendo saw, hey, there's a market for old people that can't see small images. Let's make this thing. And I guess I'm one of those old people that needs bigger screens because I love my Excel and I liked my 3DS. Don't get me wrong, but it is so much better playing it on the big screen of the 3DS XL.
That's awesome. That's funny. It totally makes sense, and I could see that happening.
Yep. All right, man. I think that's going to about do it for episode 2, unless you have anything else to add.
I think I've gone off on enough tangents tonight. I think we can call it.
Cool. Well, yeah, I mean, that's episode 2 in the bag. We definitely want to hear what you guys think of the show. We said at the top of the show, we'll say it now. Head on over to vgpodcast.com and let us know what you think. We have forums. Hang out in the forums, chat with your hosts and other fellow listeners. A lot of the people that are in the chat room right now actually post there, which would be kind of cool. What else? vgpodcast@gmail.com is our voice or email. Our voicemail is 505 VG Podcasts. We want to hear from you guys. We want to chat with you, and we want to kind of shape the show into something that you want to listen to. So let us know what you want, and we will do our best to make it a reality. And with that, that's going to about do it for the end of the episode. Will, thanks again for joining me. It was a wonderful episode. I think this the show's going pretty good. Maybe we might hit 007, so we can talk about James Bond. That'll be great.
I like it.
Awesome. Thanks again to everybody that showed up tonight. A lot of people have left, but we still in the chat room. We have Cannon Shane, we have Havoc Rewind, we have Jaina Q, Kyle K, Operator Al, Prometheus, Sinister. There's a bunch of other people that showed up over time. I'm trying to think of who.
Kyle K's in there.
Kyle K's there. NyQuil Dreams was here and left a little bit earlier. There's been a bunch of VGP _ random numbers, or people that haven't chosen a name that are there. It's been really great to chat. Brad Maven was here as well earlier on, but had to take off. Havoc Rewind is saying more Daft Punk. Nice. I was actually
a fan of the Daft Punk.
Yeah, I was streaming an old Radio 1 Essential Selection radio show broadcast recording that had an interview with Daft Punk. So maybe that's what he's talking about. That's pretty cool. Anyway, we love doing the show live for you guys and girls, and we love that you show up and support us. And yeah, we'll do it again next week. Same time, 10 p.m. Central on Fridays at vgpodcast.com/live. We'll talk to you guys in about a week's time. Take it easy, everybody.
Bye, everyone.